Samantha here, the Huga Stitcher. Welcome to my home here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I'm excited to be back for another Flosstube. I hope you are ready. I hope you have, in a comfortable spot. I hope you have your cross stitch out and you're ready to have some fun. This is always a goal of mine, to create content for you that's enjoyable to watch while you're stitching. So let's get started. Book a Days 2024. I keep track of my stitching in here, having a lot of fun. You've seen January, and I have decorated February with some Valentine's Day stickers. Tried to find something with hearts and some florals. Really fun. And then I also found a dragon sticker that I have placed ahead on February 10th, which is when the year of the Dragon SAL is starting. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, let's get into the cross stitch. I'm really excited to share this next project with you. I have been making a goal for myself to stitch on my samplers a little more often. Sometimes I'll save them for like September, sampler September, and then September rolls around and I'm already sort of sometimes in the mood for fall stitching, and I get that bug to stitch on Halloween. And so I'm like, I'm not going to do that again this year. This year, every month I'm going to work on a sampler. And the one that grabbed my attention this time was Jane Hopkins 1875. This is my very first Hands Across the Sea sampler, and I absolutely love this design. What really drew me in for this one is this sort of full coverage floral pattern in the center, and I love the strawberry border. So amazing. And the vase. There's so many beautiful things about this stitch. One of the things that I really enjoy about this pattern was that it came with this card, and this card breaks down, the 3 different kinds of materials you could use, the color. It always comes with the DMC conversion, which I've heard Brenda and Laura, the serial starter, they always talk about how Nicola creates the best DMC conversion, and I trust their opinion, and they're not wrong. I have done my whole design in DMC, and let me show you the colors so far. Oh, this is so pretty. Now I'm stitching mine on a 46 count linen. This is tough stitching right here, but still I have been using a Q-snap, and I've been using magnification so that I can see really well. So I just use 1 strand of DMC over 2 linen threads. This color, let me just refresh my memory. It is 46 count hand dyed latte by Fiber on a Whim. I kept the little tag on there, that's so smart, so that I'll be able to find it. I love the fabric. I've never stitched on Fiber on a Whim before, and I love it. It has a beautiful feel to it, very elegant, and I love the color. Absolutely love the color. So I had started the design right in the middle. And so I'm working on this rose, which is now complete. And now I'm starting to work around it, and I can't decide, do I want to work my way over to the next flower? Do I want to do the vase, work on a big leaf, get to the strawberry border, put some border in? Like, I don't know what to do next. But I was just finding colors that filling in some of the blanks where I could, and trying to complete a little bit of image, like this is a leaf and this one's a leaf here. And this line of stitching right here is the start of the vase. How pretty is this turning out, you guys? Can you imagine? Like, I know 46 count is kind of crazy, but it's going to be so pretty on this fabric, and it's going to be petite, and it's going to be beautiful. I honestly, as I was stitching on this piece, I couldn't help but think, like, I think this is going to be one of my really special pieces. I've had a few over the years that have surprised me. Last year, no, 2 years ago, when did I finish Map of Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Sampling? Like, I knew it was a fun stitch. I'd never had stitched on one of those before, and when I finished it and framed it, like, it's my most favorite piece I've ever stitched. Like, just it being complete, it's so different from my Mirabilias, my Nora Corbett designs, stitches that I've done over the years. It's so different and it's amazing. Like, it's amazing. And I'm getting the same feeling as I'm stitching on this piece. I think it's going to be really, 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 really beautiful, and one of those treasured pieces, framed, that will be on my wall one day. I'll look back and be like, I'm so glad I decided to stitch this. It's beautiful. I've seen a few other stitchers complete this piece and it is stunning, but I haven't seen anybody stitch it on 46 count. Am I crazy? Oh, that's another challenge of mine, is a lot of the samplers that I have decided to stitch are on 40 count, and I'm finding it really challenging, and that's why I'm making a goal for myself every month to pull out a sampler, do some 40 count stitching, make some progress, and keep going. And I'm keeping this in my portfolio, my keeper, whatever you want to call it. This is where I've only have one project in this one so far. So I got the pattern tucked behind, the fabric in there, and I'm waiting to find the next project that will also store in here. Maybe another Hands Across the Sea, or maybe a blackbird, you know, something like that's gonna go in here one day. But really awesome. I really enjoyed stitching on that, and I'm looking forward to getting some more progress over the year. It's one of my projects that I want to keep out during the spring months because of the floral. So you'll most likely see it again soon. The next project I'm working on, I keep in this portfolio that Erica and I, Fibers and Floss Canada, made together this last summer. On the cover has my Owl Forest embroidery patchwork calendar. Matches so perfectly. I took the Velcro, I undid the Velcro for you so that you didn't have to listen to the Velcro when I opened it. But inside here, I'm keeping summer Quaker and spring Quaker over here with the patterns behind. So this is what I'm going to be showing you. Summer Quaker, sorry, spring Quaker. I have been stuck for a little while on this design. Last year I had completed the Quaker all the way around, and I was a little nervous making the jump into the center of the design. What was holding me back was these white stitching all the way around. It is like in the chart, it's charted, you know, cross stitch, but it also mentions that you can do the satin stitch, which is something I had learned how to do on my last blackbird design. Had some satin stitches, so I learned how to do that, and I was excited to give that a go. And I tried it on this stitch, and I got maybe 3 or 4 down the road, and I decided I didn't actually like the way that it was turning out. And I'm not sure if it's because the pattern, the fabric that I have decided to stitch it on is a 36 count, and I'm stitching it 2/2 with DMC, and it's kind of got this plush stitching. I'm going to show you right away. And with the satin stitch, it was just even more bulky, and I was like, oh, it's too much. And then I thought maybe just 1 strand of DMC, and I was like, oh, it's not, I still don't really like the coverage. So I decided to go with cross stitch, and I'm thrilled with how it's turned out. Here we go. I have completed the border with the white stitching, doing the cross stitch, and I love it. And I think a big part of me moving forward with this stitch was just getting over that initial, like, what am I gonna do here? Not really sure yet how I'm gonna like it. And now it's done, so I can move on. I can move on to the basket in the middle, which I'm really, really excited to stitch. I have been, I've created a new goal for myself this year. I have been trying to work up to 30 works in progress. I'm currently at 27, and I'm soon to be at 28 with the new stitch along coming up. So I'm trying to get up to 30 projects. And within those 30 projects, I'm trying to get to this place where I have 10 starts, 10 projects that are in the beginning stages. And I want to get 10 projects that are in the middle stage. and 10 projects that are in the, you know, close to the end, close to a finish. And that's my goal this year, to have all of those projects in those slots. And I'm hoping to get there by maybe 6 months into the year, or maybe by August. August is a big month for me because of it's my Flosstube anniversary month. It's my birthday month and all the things, and it's summertime. And so I'm hoping that by that time of year, I've met my goal of reaching 30 projects and have those 30 projects in those spots. And for this one, I had been considering this a middle stitch because I have completed a good chunk of it, but I'm not at the end yet. Like, I still have this whole basket. There is a lot of stitching in there. It may not cover as much ground on the fabric, but it's denser stitching, right? With the basket and the houses and the floral, there's still some words there. Spring is sure to follow. So I have a lot to go. So once I sort of get some more of this basket in, I think I will move this project into the finishing stages of my, you know, my 10-10-10. And so I'm excited to do that. Spring's hasn't even begun yet, so I will bring this out again and get some basket stitching done on this one and hopefully meet my goal there. Isn't this turning out beautiful? This is a 36 count hand dyed by Rolanda. It is called Cafe Latte, and I'm stitching it all with DMC and 2/2. It looks amazing. This piece has really inspired me to start the summer Quaker last year and start another stitch along, because these have been so fun to stitch. Look at that. It's amazing. And one of the things that I had done with this one and the summer Quaker was to stitch it on the same size fabric. I want the spring and the summer stitch to be the same size. You know, if I'm thinking about framing them and hanging them on the wall, I want them to look like a set. It's gonna be great. Yeah, so there I am. I'm very happy about this one, where I had, you know, met my goal for this time around, completing that border, and now it's gonna be so easy for me to jump in and start that basket. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. Okay, so the next project, I keep in this really fun bag that Erica also made us. This is a bag where I'm keeping Treasure Island, which is an owl forest embroidery stitch. It was a stitch along last year, and I'm making some really great progress on it. Yeah, I have been a little worried about one of the colors in here. I am very close to finishing the thread. There's not a lot left of it, and there's also, it seems like when I look at the design, I'm like, there's still a lot of like that color here. So I have been trying to be very careful with how much thread I use, and, you know, saving all the pieces I can, get as much stitching out of it. Well, this is where I am. This project, I'm considering a middle project, and I would like to get it into that finishing stage. I did the math on this, how many parts there are in the stitch along, and if I complete one more part, then I can move it into the finish. The next part of this stitch along is doing the outline of the island. So that's exciting. But this is what I was able to do. I have done this gentleman here, this pirate, completed more of the border, and this is that color I'm talking about. I'm getting a little worried about. I might have to reach out to Erica, who also has this color, and be like, do you have any left? Because I think she's finished hers now. And then I also did this pirate. He was really fun to do. His pants were really cool, kind of like stripes. And look at his face. So fun. Look at how amazing this is turning out. I'm excited one day to have, you know, a wall down. I have a Stitchy space that I'm starting to create, and I'm visualizing, you know, a wall that has all my mirabilias, and I'm visualizing a section where I have all of my owl forest embroidery, like Treasure Island, Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, that sort of thing. Maybe close to like a bookshelf or something. I'm not sure, but you know, I have all these plans. I also want to have a wall that is a mixture of everything, you know, has a sampler, has a Quaker, map of Hawk Run Hollow, you know, these sort of things where it's like a collection of different types of stitching. So gotta get there. It's a lot of work, you know, framing stitching a project, first deciding that you want to stitch a project, getting the materials, stitching it, and then there's once you've completed it, the framing process. I always get kind of stuck around this area because framing is so expensive, or it can be really expensive. And some of my mirabilias I have that have been sort of sitting around for a long time, just waiting for, you know, when I have $500 extra to go and frame one of them, which never seems to come around, because what happens is I fall in love with another design, and I'm always like, well, I could frame a piece, or I could buy this new pattern. So that's where, you know, a lot of my decision making go to is keep stitching and to keep adding beautiful new designs to my collection. And you know, I think this year 2024 is going to be a year of finding one piece that is like the goal to frame. And I should have brought it out, and maybe I will get it in a little bit, and when I pause and click, you know, switch, I will grab it. It's a piece that I'm thinking about. It was my very first Blackbird design. So I'll show it to you in a little bit. Maybe that will be my goal, to frame it. So there we go, there's Treasure Island. Beautiful stitching, beautiful colors. It's been really fun. I love Owl Forest. Like when I'm sometimes I just think to myself, I could stitch on all the Owl Forest. just keep going. All right, you didn't have to wait that long. I paused and went and grabbed it. While we're on the discussion of talking about Blackbird, I wanted to show you, this was my finish from 2022. This is What Remains Is Love by Blackbird Designs. It was my very first Blackbird, and one of my thoughts about this, so I think it was maybe about a month ago, someone had asked me, like, out of all of my finishes, what would be something that I would get framed if I had to choose, you know, what would be my top pick? And this one stuck out in my mind, and it was because I had never done a Blackbird before. It's so different from anything I've ever stitched. And I really, really enjoyed this stitch. It was a stitch along. It was an exclusive from Traditional Stitches here in Canada a few years back. And when it had come out, I had ordered the kit through them, you know, the called for fabric and all the, you know, all the fancy floss and all the things. And yeah, it was the first time I'd ever done satin stitches, which you can see in those, like up here. They're in both bouquets. So that was kind of fun. Also the top part of the heart. That was a bit of a learning curve for me. I was like, what do I do? And I had tried it for a little bit and was like, I'm not happy with how it's looking. And then I discovered a different way to do it, which was what I was doing was like putting my thread down and then moving over and then going back this way and then moving over and coming back down. And you're supposed to like keep it in that loop motion where you would put your needle, come up, go down, come up, go down, like so that you're moving like this, if that makes sense. And so once I had gotten the hang of it, I was like, oh, it's looking way better. I really love it. That was fun to do. And the beautiful flower in the center, the house, the border, the little birds around there. There was also the first time I'd ever done smearing across, which is throughout the design too, and in the peacock. Really fun. So when I was working at Lizzie B's, there were a couple of customers that had come in and got this piece framed. And every time I was like, oh my goodness, I love the frame that they had chose. And it was really inspiring me, like, oh, I have to get mine framed too. So this is my goal for 2024, is before the year is up, to get this one framed. find a frame that I really love. The ones that I have seen before, I've seen it framed twice. Once with a frame that was sort of in the bluey color, very simple, but sort of that blue color. And then I've also seen it framed in a pink frame, which was really cool too. So I might do something like that, or I might go with a traditional sort of like chocolate brown type frame. I don't know yet. I'd have to go to the store and to figure out something special for this one. So yep, there we go. What Remains is Love by Blackbird Designs. Yeah. All right, next up, I wanted to share with you a little bit of Stitchy kindness that arrived a few days ago. A loyal viewer who has been with me from the beginning, Hannah. Hi, Hannah. She reached out to me and said, I have a memorabilia that if you would like, you could have it. And this one is called the Millennium Angel. And I did not have this in my collection. This is one of Mirabilia's earlier charts. It's MD 27, and it's stunning. I've actually never stitched an angel pattern before. So like I've done a lot of pixies and angel, not angels, but fairies and things like that. These wings are so pretty. They're gorgeous. And the flowers down there, this is stunning. And I'm just really excited to add this to my collection. And it's really special. I've had a few Mirabilia charts gifted to me and from viewers, and to me it's like whenever I'm going to look at this chart, stitch on this chart, I'm going to be thinking about Flosstube and the community and the friends, you know, the relationships that have been built online through Flosstube, through the video. That's really special. This really means a lot to me. So thank you so much, Hannah, for thinking of me and for passing this along. I'm going to cherish it. It's going to go in my collection. I have some new Mirabilia Nora Corbett charts that I have kitted up already for this year, planned for this year. So maybe this will be 2025. We'll see. It's exciting. Thank you so much. And I also have a few more things that I have added to my collection. I went to the Winnipeg Embroidery Guild, and a lot of times this is where I get, like, if I put my name in for a draw to win a prize, or somebody at my table wins a prize and they're like, oh, I'm never gonna stitch this, pass it on to me. Like, I get a lot of like really cool things. And there was a fellow stitcher, Nicole. She is, like, again, one of my favorite people to see when I get to the meeting. She's so fun. And she came up to me and she had a pattern in her hand and she's like, do you have this in your collection? I was like, no, I don't. And I've never done a prairie schooler before. So she's like, it's yours. You take it, you put it in your collection. I'm like, all right. So thank you so much, Nicole. This is the Prairie Schooler Christmas Eve. I'm excited about this. It has, you know, the option to stitch 3 little minis, little ornaments, or the big jumbo. Oh, there's another one up there. I love it. I love this one. Nicole pointed this out, that it's a Santa coming down the chimney. How fun. That's awesome. So I'm excited about this, actually. I do have a love for Christmas patterns and Santas and reindeers and things like that. And I've never done a prairie schooler and I want to get into them. So this will be a great start. Maybe I could get that in with, you know, this Christmas. And then I had entered myself in for a little draw and I won. And this was one of my favorite pieces. This is what I was after. It was a prairie schooler, the 2002 Santa. How cool is that? So in one night, I managed to get 2 prairie schoolers. So cool. I really love this one. And what I know about the prairie schooler is that you should stick with the DMC. You don't need to do conversions and things like that. They've got it down pat. That's what I've heard over the years, is that people say you don't need to make any conversions. They do an excellent job with their Santas. And yeah, I'm excited to stitch this one. Really cool. Okay, so I've got those 2. And then also they had you know, a table where they had some fabric and, you know, some Aida and a lot of perforated paper. And it was like one at a time we could come up and grab a piece of something that stood out to us if we were going to use it. And I picked up a Mill Hill perforated paper, 14 count gold, which is something I don't have. I have brown, I have, I think I have a silver, and sort of like in a crew color. So this is really exciting. I love working on perforated paper, and I didn't have anything that was gold, so awesome. New stuff, new stuff to add to my collection. All right, back to some cross stitching. So I have a stitch along that I've been working with Memphis Sarah E, Rogue Mama Stitcher, Amber. We are doing the Woodland Fairy SAL by Mirabilia. So this is a chart that unfortunately is out of print now, which makes me super sad because, you know, thinking of doing a stitch along, I wanted to have something that was, you know, you could, if you fell in love with this design, you could go get it. The good news is that this chart has been around since, I don't have the actual chart here with me. I think it's like 97 or something. This chart has been around for a really long time. There's lots of them out there that you could possibly get on eBay, hopefully for not a ridiculous amount of money. You know, sometimes people go a little crazy. I should say, I have never paid more than what a chart is worth. Like in Canada, a lot of the times these charts go for around $23, $24, somewhere around there. And that's what I've paid for all of my charts. Or I've gotten them on a secondary market, or someone has gifted them to me, passed them along, you know, they knew they were gonna stitch them. And even some of my pieces that I've, you know, I know when I show them, I feel really bad. You know, there are charts that they're out of print and they go for lots of money on eBay, you know, $100 or plus kind of thing. And a lot of those charts, like I've been stitching these. I've been stitching Mirabilia since the 2007, 2008, somewhere around there was when I had first gotten into them. And I had been, you know, collecting and not really collecting all the charts, but collecting the ones that I knew I was gonna stitch. A lot of my pixies and things like that. And so I have a few of those charts that are like sought after, and when I'm done with them, I typically pass them on to another stitcher. Just take it, go stitch it, like enjoy it. And you know, I've already come, you know, there's a couple that I might keep just because, like, what if one of my daughters one day are like, I want to stitch that one. That's kind of crazy, but I'm like, what if, you know, or what if I want to stitch it twice, sort of thing. I have a couple of them that I will keep like that. Anyways, back to the stitching. The Woodland Fairy SAL. I just thought I would mention that that this was an out of print chart, and if you are searching for it, there are places, you know, there's Facebook groups where people, you know, offer up their charts for, you know, $24, $40, that sort of thing. But, you know, don't go paying the crazy prices, people. Just don't go do that. Don't do that. It's nuts. This is a really beautiful chart. I've been really excited to stitch this one and get some more different colors in there. I've been working a lot of, you know, just starting the project in the middle and getting in some of the shape of her dress. There's a lot of yellow and browns, but soon I'll be jumping into some color. But Amber and Sarah and I had a stitching night where we did a little Zoom and we stitched some more on this project. And that sort of, after we had that evening together, which was really fun, I was like, I'm gonna get some more done on this. I spent probably 2 or 3 days on this one. Yeah, getting some more colors in there. So I talk a lot about this when I am stitching on a new Mirabilia, how to start, where to start, how to stitch it. And I get a lot of questions about this. So when I typically do a Mirabilia, I like to start in the middle of the design. So I just find the middle of my fabric, the middle of the picture, and what I'm looking for is the darkest symbol in the design. So Nora Corbett, when she does her charting, you can tell, like, these dark colors here, these are gonna be a symbol that is like a solid black square or a black dot or a black half triangle, stuff like that, right? And so they're very easy to spot in the chart. It's like, oh, that's the dark color, that's the dark symbol. So I try to find my way to it. And so I had found the dark symbol, worked my way up. This is the top part of her dress, kind of under her arm there. And once I did that dark color, I started moving into the next darkest color. And then I just keep going. Like, then I'll do the lightest color. So right here, there is one more color that is the lightest, which is the center of this part of her leg. It's kind of hard to explain, isn't it? But that's how I stitch a memorabilia. I find the dark symbol and then I stitch the colors around it. And all of her charts are the same way. It's like the outline is the darkest color and then it just gets lighter and lighter in the center and makes it way back out. Look at this. Do you see what I mean? And then the ribbons. She has a really beautiful way of charting ribbons. They almost look like they're moving. You know, the light is hitting them in a certain angle. They're so pretty. That's what I'm looking forward to stitching. I want to get a couple of those pinks on this fabric. Oh, because I know what the yellow is going to look now. I just really want to see, you know, what are her wings going to look like on this fabric? What is that pink going to look like? I did a floss toss when I first, you know, put my fabric down, and I loved the way that all the colors looked, but it's sort of like, you know, a little roller coaster of emotions when you start to get these colors in. It's like really, really exciting when you get a new color. Or when you have stitched her skin and get a face in and you put the lips and the eyelashes, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a whole nother level. And then, you know, even at the end of a memorabilia, when you're doing the back stitching and you are adding in beads and charms and things like that. Yep, it's a roller coaster, I guess you could say, of not really ups and downs, but I guess like there's different stages of a memorabilia and it's really exciting. Really exciting to do. So this year I have that goal of reaching, you know, 30 whips, and within those 30 whips I have projects of memorabilia and Nora Corbett's, and it's a goal of mine to have, you know, memorabilias that are near the end. They're close to that beading stage, the back stitching, the really fun, like, oh, I'm almost done, I could just keep going and finish, you know, that's exciting. And then to have some memorabilias that are in that middle stage where you can really, like this one, this is a start. You know, there's no face, there's no arms, there's no legs, you know, there's no wings, there's nothing really to this one yet. And I have other patterns that are more in the middle stage. So I want to keep that up. I want to have those projects like that throughout the year, to have those different experiences. And I think that's sort of where my idea of the 30 projects and the 10-10-10 kind of led me, because I had a year where I wanted to finish all of my projects. Like, what do I have that's near the end? And I finished them all, and it was exciting, and it was like, you know, it was gratifying. Like I finished them. And then the next year had rolled around and I didn't have anything close to the end anymore. It was like, oh boy, it's almost like starting over from the beginning. And it takes a long time, as you all know, to get to that point. So that's where the inspiration to the 10-10-10 started, was to have that feeling throughout the year. 10 projects that are near the end, the exciting point, 10 in the middle that are like, oh, I have lots to talk about and lots to show you through the videos, that sort of thing. And for me, itself to be like, oh, this is coming together. And then of course, it's exciting to have new projects that are in the starting stage, and you know, it's exciting, but sometimes it's not a lot to show, right? And you're just like, you've got a little piece. So I really, for you as the viewer, wanted you to have stuff to, you know, different progress to show, to see. And then also for me, the stitcher, to have those feelings throughout the year. Yeah, so that's kind of where it all kind of began. And I'm excited to let you know. So I had, you know, at the beginning of the year, I made these little cards. And I wrote down my list of, you know, my starts, my middles, my finishes. So I have 12 starts, I have 9 projects that are in the middle stage, and I have 6 projects that are in the finishing stage. And I had a project here. I was looking at my list and I'm like, okay, what's in the middle that I could move into the finishing? No, that's not true. What do I have that's in a start that I could move into? Because I have 12 starts. So I'm like, okay, I got to get a couple of them out of there. What are a couple of projects that I could work on and move them into the next stage? So I came up with the Snowman Wish You, which you see behind me. I'm gonna grab the chart so you can see, or the picture so you can see what it looks like. The Snowman Wish You. And it's still technically winter, and stitching a snowman is fun. I mean, this one does say, wishing you the best Christmas ever. So it's a Christmas stitch, but I will stitch a snowman in January. Why not? So that's where I am. I'm considering this was a start because out of this whole project, there are 6 snowmen, and the first 2 means that they're in the beginning. When I move into the middle of the stitch, that will be middle, and then when I'm on the last 2, it'll go to the finishing. So where I was last time you saw this, I had completed this snowman. I had worked a little bit on this tree and some of the border and a little bit of this hat. And it was a goal of mine to finish the whole snowman. I'm so excited. So I was stitching on this last night and I finished it right before bed. This adorable snowman. Look at how cute he is. I love the stocking element to this snowman. The hat was awesome. The tree is cute. And it's got these little stick arms. The one is wrapping around the tree there. This cute star. And the stockings, they just kill me. That's so cute. You can kind of see the other snowman in there. It says, wishing you. And then, yeah, I had stitched the top border. And so I was like, okay, I got to get that right to the middle so that the next time that I pick this up, I just have to do the snowman, this guy here. And that's it. And maybe this might be it for maybe not all of 2024. I might bring this out again in the winter months in December and stitch on it. We'll see, but for right now, I'm moving this into, it's no longer in the starting phase. I'm moving it into the middle because I've already stitched the top and the bottom, and I'm moving on to the next snowman. That's exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah, see, this is fun. Having these little goals, it like keeps me motivated to stitch on certain projects. And I just keep these cards with me all the time when I'm thinking about what I want to work on next. You know, where's my sampler? Where's my memorabilia? What do I need that's, you know, in the starting phase and move it on to the next one, that sort of thing. So that's what I've been doing. And so far it's been working out for me. Cute. This is the little needle minder that was gifted to me when I first started my Flosstube. A lovely viewer, Jessica, had reached out to me and had sent me a couple of project bags and this adorable needle minder, and I just love it. I'll show you the bag she gave me. I keep it with this pattern. This was the bag that she had gifted me. It's just a mini one, but it's perfect for this stitch because it just needs to fit the floss and the pattern super easy. And I've been storing my flosses on this really cute polar bear that I got from the Winnipeg Embroidery Guild last year when they were celebrating their 50th anniversary. What was actually really cool about that, and I didn't know this until I had attended the 50th, like we did a bruncheon and like a luncheon thing, and Winnipeg was actually the founding location. Like 50 years ago, the, gosh, I never remember her name. This is so terrible. I should have wrote that down. Eleanor Thomas? I don't know, I'm gonna mess it up. She had started the guild 50 years ago, and she was the first one in Canada to create this, you know, the embroidery guild, and then it stretched over into other provinces, you know, slowly but surely more guilds started up across Canada. And here we are 50 years later. Like when we had seminar last year, it was really cool. There were people that traveled from all over Canada to come to Winnipeg. And because it was the 50th anniversary, it was a big deal. It was a really big deal. And I was honored to be a part of the event, and I had a ton of fun. But this is my little keepsake, thinking about the Winnipeg Embroidery Guild. Cute little polar bear, which is so fitting for Winnipeg. And yeah, I keep all my colors on here. And I think when I finish this project one day, I will save this and find another stitch that is, you know, similar, where it doesn't have like, there's 15 spots where you can keep your colors. So I'll continue on and find another project for it. But these are the super fun. I stuck with DMC for the chart. It had different, you know, variegated flosses that you could pick. It was gentle art. And I decided to go with DMC because it had a conversion here. But I wanted the snowman to be, you know, a little fancy. And this color is called Oatmeal. And it's got this really, like, to me, it almost reminds me of like marshmallow a little bit. It's really cute. And I think it does the snowman justice. I'll show you again. Maybe you can see it, how it sort of changes colors as I'm stitching. And as I was doing this, I was like, what do I do here? Do I just go, like, because my way of stitching is very much back and forth, right? Stitch the half leg going this way and then finish the X going back. And when I was looking, this picture is really dark. It's hard to show you, but in the picture, I can tell that the way that the stitcher who did the modeling stitching did them in the shape of the snowman. Oh, can you see that? Like, you can see it in this one and you can see it in this one, where they did the outline and then they moved in like one at a time. They did a row. That's actually really cool. Yeah, but I considered it, but I was like, that's too much effort. I'll just do it like this. How I normally do it. I think it looks great. I really enjoy the stitch. It's interesting. I've never stitched anything like this before. This is by Thistles, and I've never done a Thistles pattern, but I just really fell in love with the snowman. That's fun. That's fun. Christmas. I want to have more Christmas stitching, you know, one day to have, you know, this would be a stitch that I wouldn't keep up year round. I would take it down and then put it up at Christmas. I like that idea for these guys. And you could even have it out for more than that, you know, December, January. It's like, okay, then time to put it away. That sort of thing. Cute. Okay, moving on. Before I forget, I wanted to show you my daughter's stitching. So over the holidays, my daughter, you know, over Christmas, that sort of thing, when she had time off, she was really trying to make some more progress on her stitch. And I've shown this to you before when she first had started it. I wish I had, maybe I'll insert at the bottom the name of the person where this chart had come from. This is a funny stitch. My daughter was overhearing my husband and I talking about cross stitch patterns, and he had commented one time like, why don't you ever stitch anything cool? Is what he had said, you know. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he bringed up, like, on his phone, had Googled a few images, like, why don't you stitch something like this or something like that? And they were like Simpsons, funny Simpson designs. And my daughter was, you know, overheard us, and she's like, Dad, I'll stitch you one of those. And he was like, really? And that was it. They downloaded the pattern, and I had fabric, and, you know, got the DMC and everything, and away she went. So she's actually made quite a bit of progress. I told her that, like, because she got to a point over the holidays, I'm like, oh, it's time to show this one again, because you're getting really close to finishing the top half of the design, and you can really see Flanders here. If you know the Simpsons and you know the show, this is like a scene that is a classic Simpsons. You know, it's got a funny story. And he's holding, you know, two ski poles, and he's got skis on, and yeah. Look at right here. So this is gonna be, it's blank in the design, but my daughter and I were like, you know what? We need to do like blending filament or something to really emphasize the gleam. That's so fun. Yeah, so she's really proud of herself to get this far, and hopefully this could be completed before Christmas next year. Maybe we could get it framed for my husband. That would be really fun. Yeah, it's stitched on, I believe this is 16 count Aida with DMC colors. So fun. I'm proud of her for sticking with this chart, and you know, every once in a while it's really fun to see her. She's like, Dad, look, look at how far I've got. And he just loves it. He thinks it's great. So yeah, there we go. That's my daughter. She's been working on that one. And before I forget, I have a little sticky note on this magazine here because this was a giveaway from my Flosstube #1 for the beginning of the year. And it was the Whip Parade I did. And I had said that I was going to gift this chart, which is in a magazine, Just Cross Stitch magazine. This was gifted to me by a lovely viewer, and I'm stitching the Lily Maiden by Teresa Wensler. So I already have this pattern, and I wanted to pass it on to a viewer. So I did a draw. I used the YouTube comment picker, and the winner is Jennifer Bartle Stitcher. I'm going to put her name down below here. So if this is you, I know you've been watching the videos and I hope you catch this. You can email me at hugastitcher@gmail.com. I had to think about it for a second. And let me know your address and I will ship this out to you. How exciting. Congratulations, Jennifer. It's awesome. All right, so who watching is getting excited about the Year of the Dragon SAL? It's coming up on February 10th is when we're gonna start the stitch along. I'm hosting it with my best friend, Erica from Fibers and Floss Canada. She's joining and helping me with this stitch along. We're really excited about this, a couple of reasons. Year of the Dragon is really special. I had a dragon stitch that I had in my collection for a couple of years. I want to say it's been close to 2 years that I had this pattern in my collection, and I really was nervous about starting it because I had already done a Teresa Wensler before, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to have 2 of them on the go at the same time. And a viewer of mine, a fellow floss tuber, Michelle, the Chinook Crafter, she had mentioned, you know, that next year is the Year of the Dragon and you should stitch your Teresa Wensler dragon. And it stuck out with me. I just was like, I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, that is a fantastic idea and a wonderful excuse to bring out my Teresa Wensler, the storyteller, and get a start on it in the Year of the Dragon. How clever. And you know, the one really fun thing about this stitch along is that it doesn't, you don't need to go and find, you know, search the eBay and all the places for the secondhand market for this pattern. You know, these can be hard to find. And with the Year of the Dragon SAL, you can stitch on whatever dragon you want. And there's no limit to, you know, it could be a dragon stitch that you started a long time ago and hadn't completed. Bring it out. You might have a dragon like myself that was in your collection. You've been wanting to stitch it. Like, this is your chance to jump on and get a start in the Year of the Dragon. It only happens once every 12 years. So let's get going on these. It could be a full coverage dragon. It could be a dragon ornament, you know, smaller size. It could be, I know someone, Lady Lugana, Sarah, she's doing a long dog that has dragons in it. Like, how awesome is that? And, you know, if you follow the hashtag, the Year of the Dragon SAL on Instagram, you can get some inspiration. There has been people posting, you know, what they're gonna start, what they're gonna stitch during the Year of the Dragon SAL, so you can get some inspiration there. I've seen baby dragons, I've seen dragon everything, and it's awesome. So this is a wonderful opportunity to jump on. And it's not just if you're thinking, okay, February 10th, like if you're watching this and it is already past February 10th, we have all year, everyone. We have all year to jump in on this stitch along. If you are thinking like, I've started kitting up something, but I'm not quite ready yet, that's okay. You could post what chart you have decided that you want to stitch and use the hashtag so others can see that you're gonna join. And when your materials have arrived, jump in, use the hashtag. We're gonna have this running all year. And I'm really excited to have this stitch along with my girlfriend, Erica, because she can help me keep it alive throughout the year. because I will stitch on my dragon and then I'll take a break and then I'll stitch on it again, you know, like throughout the year I'll be popping in and out too. So it's exciting, you know, between me and my girlfriend, we will, you know, keep it going throughout the year. And so the Lunar New Year, that is February 10th. What that means is it is the second new moon after the winter solstice. So this year it happens on February 10th. It's a Saturday. So if you want to join us on that day and share your start, that would be really exciting. I'm going to do Teresa Wensler, the storyteller. I'm very excited. So I think my first few stitches are going to be to get this square border outline and make my way across so that I can get to the dragon. You know, the one thing about a Teresa Wensler is that they have these two, it's almost like two projects. You know, you've got the border and you've got the inside. So what a lot of people do is they do a little bit of both. They will do a little bit of border. Okay, I get burnt out, gonna go into the center. If you get burnt out from doing, you know, half stitches and things like that in the center, you could move to the border. So it's kind of like a fun way to tackle Teresa Wensler. You know what's funny? I was at the guild meeting and Victoria came up to me well, I sat down next to her and she's like, I have something to show you. And she brings out of her bag, her Stitchy bag, her start on Teresa Wensler, the storyteller, that she started in 2020, I think she said, where she had completed some of the border and a little bit of the green to the dragon. And she's like, I'm joining your stitch along. I saw that you were talking about your Teresa Wensler dragon and I couldn't believe it. I have that in my collection. I have a start on it. I'm gonna stitch it too this year. So that was really exciting. So fun. So I'm excited that Victoria and I can keep each other motivated to, you know, this is where I am. I'm gonna catch up to her. She's done a little bit of the castle, which is sort of like there's a lot of half stitches because the dimension of the kit of the stitch is like, this is, you know, these will be cross stitches and in the back it's like the half stitches, so it looks farther away. You've seen that before in other designs, right? Where they use that effect. So cool. But yeah, she had stitched some of the border and a little bit of the castle and then some of the dragon. Oh, but I'm gonna catch up on the topic of the stitch along, the Year of the Dragon SAL. A viewer, a fellow Flosstuber, a friend of mine, Sarah, Memphis Sarah E. She reached out to me. She's excited about the Year of the Dragon SAL too. And she wanted to gift me a really special present. This is so fun. She had this made for me from her sister-in-law, I believe, has a company called Rivertown Designs, Angie. And she was like, Samantha, I got a needle minder coming your way. Okay, cool, dragon needle minder. So this is a dragon egg, really fun, really adorable. But that's not all she surprised me with. She has had Angie make me a project bag. So there's two here. This is the like notions bag. Look at this. Look at this fabric. This is epic. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Sarah and Angie, for creating this. This is amazing. Cute little tassel. Everything was so lovely packaged. And then here is the dragon bag. Stop it right now. This is amazing. And look at how big it is too. It's so cool. So great dragon graphic. Dragon eggs at the top. Cool green zipper too with the pull. That is so fun. Ties in a little bit of the green dragon. And then on the back, more dragon eggs and the dragons down here. This is so colorful. I'm absolutely gonna store my dragon stitch in here. How could I not? This is incredible. How exciting. Thank you so much, Sarah, for this amazing gift. I'm gonna cherish it. I'm gonna use my dragon egg needle minder. So cool. So I have been putting a lot of thought into how I wanted to kit up this project. I'm gonna store it in this lovely bag. And even for the notions bag, like I can store my Kreinik in there. There's beads, you know, that sort of thing. So that's fun. And also I have all of this thread. that I have, like, this is, somebody had commented on my last video when I had talked about kitting up the Teresa Wensler, that this is a very like 1980s, 1990s way of kitting up a project. And I'm like, you know what? It's very fitting because Teresa Wensler was a designer in the 90s. And this is how she suggests that you kit up her projects, by using these, this is a Loran master card, and where you would put your colors and your numbers and that sort of thing. And I have laid them out in the order like the pattern had described. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with, like, so far I had a ton of fun putting this together. And another viewer was like, you're missing a color on your card, 209. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right, I forgot. And thank you for reminding me, because it was the one color that I had, you know, I had gone to the store, but they didn't have it. They were sold out. And so I was like, oh, I'll just remember next time, but I hadn't written it down anywhere. So thank you for letting me know. I have 209 that I need to go get. And hopefully, I believe it's a purpley color. So I don't think I'll need it right off the hop, because, oh, maybe I will. I don't know. Because in the border, it has a little bit of green, purple, and blue. And then obviously there's some purple colors in the dragon as well. You know, it's going to be the color that I'm going to need like right away. That's the way it works. I'm missing one color, but that's the one. Who can relate? It happens to all of us. You just can't believe it. Like, how could I have all of these colors? How could I have been stitching for so many years and be missing that one color? And that's exactly where I wanted to start the stitch, and I need it now. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So this is how I have kitted up my project. I also have the fabric, which is a 28 count platinum linen. Beautiful. One of my favorites. I love platinum. So that's going to be fun. Nice, beautiful piece that I will put on my Q-snap and use on my stand. So that's exciting. And then I have more colors in my kit here, where I'm storing all of these are the colors that were suggested in the beginning of the pattern, and the ones that are used, I believe, the most. So got lots and lots of floss. There's also this fun Krynic. This is a Krynic Metallics cord, 102C. If it has a C, that means it's a cord. Gold color. So I believe I saw Victoria's in person. She had used a little bit of gold in her stitch, and it was along the border where it kind of had like a sheen to it, which is really cool. I'm excited to try that. It's not the typical back stitching. It's like, it is sort of like back stitching, but not the typical, right? So it's in the stitch around the border. Maggie, aka Kitschy Whips, has this pattern, has been stitching it for a while. She's excited to join the stitch along too, and I have been wanting to have a stitch with Maggie, right? And here we go. She had already started this, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to have a pattern that will keep us connected in that way, where I'll be working on mine and she'll be working on hers. That's so cool. I'm excited about that. There are many Teresa Wensler fans out there. She had been designing for so many years, and I find that they go through phases where they become popular again, and then, I think the year of the dragon is time to bring the Teresa Wensler's dragons back. Get everybody stitching on them. If you have this in your collection or another dragon stitch and you've had it started for decades, go get it out and come stitch with us. Enjoy the year of the dragon. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. That's all I can say. So me and my girlfriend Erica have a few surprises for you guys. We're working on coming up with different ideas all the time of what we could do for the stitch along. So stay tuned for that. And if you can, jump on Saturday, use the hashtag, take a photo of the pattern you're going to stitch, the fabric you're going to use, or take a picture of the stitch that you've already started and come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for the day. It's going to be great. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Take care, everyone. Oh, and remember, Huga, It's not important on how you say Huga. What's important is that you feel Huga. Huga is an emotion, it's a feeling. For myself, when I'm getting ready to stitch, it's almost like a ritual, you know, getting all ready to stitch. A lot of the times I am like, chores are somewhat done, or a great stitching day is like laundry day. Laundry day is like the best day. You know, you've got your laundry in, it's going, what are you gonna do? Okay, stitch for a bit. Oh, timer goes off on the dryer, go get the laundry, da da da. You know, I love those days. So when it's one of those days, I like to light a candle, get a cozy blanket. It's winter still right now, so cozy blanket, cozy place to sit, get everything turned on, get your lighting just right, get a hot beverage like hot tea or hot chocolate, coffee, whatever you want, and set yourself up. That's Huga. Huga is the feeling of comfort and contentment, good lighting, good company. If you've got Flosstube playing and you're watching one of your favorite Flosstubers, Huga, like that is Huga. And a lot of people get stuck on the name, and it's not important. Say it however you want to say it, but just remember, it's important to feel Huga, get yourself set up, get in your comfort zone, stitch away the day. I'll see you again next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.